this, I can come down that. There's no such thing as justification.
No, give him more time. It's not enough.
With a Christian,
take time.
With a Christian worldview, you have the opportunity to have both. You have justification through Jesus Christ as the atonement, and you also have forgiveness. Those two things cannot be if you don't have atonement, and Islam does not provide that. It does not provide that at all.
Can I say something? Like they believe, according to the Islamic.
No, for Islam, I will explain. For your perspective, you explain. Leave Islam to me to explain. Go ahead.
He's not a Christian.
I'm not.
What I'm saying is, if you want to say what Islam considers, I will explain that.
No.
In your perspective,
if I say anything about Islam, could you just correct me?
No, I will say it myself.
No, because let me just say what I want to say. Because like in this, I've got a lot of Muslim friends, and they told me this. I've got a lot of Muslim friends, and they told me that in Islam, right, like, for example, why God lets people have diseases. Because they believe that life is a test. God is like testing them.
And he also said the same thing. And I'm saying what he just.
You are interrupting him in his 2 minutes or his 5 minutes.
What he just said is not a good testimony for me. I would never believe in a God like that. I would never. I've never believed in a God like that.
Because they believe. In Islam.
Why don't you allow me to say what I believe?
No, I'm just saying.
It's only fair, isn't it?
No, what is it that like God's trying to like. It's like a test. Like God's trying to see like if he can handle the trial. Because I know in Islam they say that in the Quran every human being is going to have tests and trials. So they believe in Islam that all the diseases and sickness you have that is a test from Allah to see whether you love Him. To see whether you love Him and you can you're a true believer. That's why.
Okay.
Am I right?
Can I ask something? Yeah? First, your Muslims friends, what do they say about eternity? Or what's the meaning?
What do you mean?
The test? Where is it going? Are they going to meet God, or what's?
God's gonna reward you for the way you handle that trial on the day of judgment. And Allah will reward you.
Let me come into this, right? So you talked about how Islam doesn't offer justice and forgiveness. Talking about coherence, to define justice is to give the right where it's due. When Adam and Eve sinned in the Garden of Eden, according to the Bible, you expect them to acknowledge their mistake and ask God for forgiveness, and you expect God to forgive because it's forgiving. There is no mention of God forgiving Adam and Eve.
There's even an animal who had to do the atonement in the first book.
No patience. I am not even finished 30 seconds and he's interrupting.
Okay.
But you cannot say things which are wrong according to Christianity, and then I'm not allowed to.
Yeah.
When I said
that's not fair.
Adam and Eve, did Adam and Eve?
Islam and
then
you're not.
Forget the 2 minutes interactions. Okay. Did Adam and Eve ask God to forgive them when they committed eating of the apple of the tree?
Pardon?
Did Adam and Eve ask God sincerely, humbly, willingly?
No.
Isn't that what I said? There is no mention of that in the Bible. So I was correct. So let me continue then.
But that's not the point.
So I am establishing a point. So here, you expect them who are walking in the presence of God to realize the mistake when they committed the mistake. There is no mention of that. There is no mention of God forgiving them. My next point is this. These two individuals committed a willful disobedience of God's command. Do not eat of the tree or whatever, and they fall short. They disobeyed God. I wasn't there. I did not take part in it. So I am in no way responsible for that action. Why do you believe in this original sin and atonement? This is totally unjust. Because to punish me for the sins of my father is totally unjust. I need to be punished for my own action. Ezekiel chapter 18 in the Jewish Bible is a refutation of the whole concept of original sin or forefather sin passing on to the children. It totally dismantles and demolishes this concept that, you know what, if you are a murderer, your son can be punished for that. Totally dismantles it. You may have not read it. Ezekiel chapter 18, whole chapter, is a complete, blatant refutation of this belief. So, but you believe in this atonement, that Adam and Eve sinned. Because of that, we are all guilty. We should all go to hell. And if you don't believe in Christ, who is God incarnate, who paid for that sin, then we will go to hell. But here is the problem with another problem. Coherence, incoherence number 1 and incoherence number 2 here.
What was incoherence? Because it's not. You can say that you think it's unjust, but it's nothing to do with incoherence.
I'll tell you what incoherence is.
I'll tell you what incoherence is.
Coherence means a system in which you don't punish the innocent.
That has nothing to do with
excuse
coherence.
me, listen. A coherent system of justice is, remember my words, a coherent system of justice is in which within that system the guilty is punished, not the innocent. The guilty. In your system of justice, the innocent like me is paying the price for the guilty like Adam and Eve.
No, that's not right.
Correct me.
If you're punished,
correct me.
If you're guilty, then
do I have original sin?
Do you know what? Do you know? There's this guy called Augustine. Have you read him?
Have you?
I've read some.
So it's not good enough.
Have you
reading some is not good enough. I just told you.
Have you?
Me not.
Because that's what you're trying to tell these people.
That's not good enough.
You're trying to tell these people about original sin, which is a doctrine. What
is it passed on to us?
Huh?
Is the original sin of Adam on your shoulders?
Yeah, and what Augustine says, that you are guilty in your pre-existence by picking the tree in Adam. That's what Augustine says. It's his theory.
Did you willfully choose to do that?
So that's his answer to that. But that's not the point.
Very bad answer.
Saying
very bad answer.
Really good answer.
Now let me tell you why.
Logical, coherent answer.
Let me tell you why it's incoherent and bad.
You need to study.
Allow me to.
You need to study.
You made a claim.
No. You need to study.
I want to show you how incoherent it is.
Because coherence, it's about logic.
Okay, what is coherence?
Logic.
What does coherence mean?
Coherence means that it has to. You have to be able to think it.
No, that's not coherence.
For example, if you
try again. What does coherence mean? Try again.
That's coherent. No. Okay, you tell me.
I'm not going to tell you because you start. I'll tell you. Good. Let's open up Oxford or Cambridge dictionaries of coherence.
Yeah.
So no one argues against.
So you're saying that it's not thinkable.
Excuse me, I'm not saying.
That's what you.
No. Coherence has nothing to just. Excuse me. Coherence is not just about thinkable.
So you're saying.
Wait.
I want you to answer my questions again because I was trying to answer you.
Coherence meaning. Patience. Meaning of coherence. Okay. So dictionaries. Okay, let's go to Oxford dictionaries. Definition of coherence.
Here it comes.
Excuse me. Bear with me. Because you need to have the data to come to my phone.
Okay.
This guy is not here, so.
Okay. Yeah. We'll come back to the original question about Prophet Muhammad's prophethood and how Trinity, we haven't talked about, is the most incoherent dogma that we have seen.
No. The Trinity is not coherent. There's nothing incoherent by one being. He's one being and three persons. There's nothing incoherent with that. We believe in one God. There's one God and there's three persons. There's nothing incoherent by it at all.
Coherence as a noun is the quality of being logical and consistent.
Yeah, that's right.
Consistency. Now, remember, when we talk about justice, we're talking about a system in which there will be guilty and there will be someone who is innocent.
And the Christian says that everybody is guilty.
Excuse me, if you allow me to finish, Othman.
You just said that God punishes innocent people. Everybody is guilty.
Othman, was I guilty of the crime that Adam and Eve commit? Thank you. Was I guilty?
No, it's not the point.
Answer is? What is your answer?
It's not the point.
What is your answer? Was I guilty?
If you're not guilty, it wouldn't matter.
No, question is, am I guilty? Was I guilty?
No, you're not guilty.
Right. So is it fair and just to punish me if I'm not guilty of a crime someone did?
No, of course not.
Thank you. So let's now move on to Trinity. We've established that you believe of atonement.
No, of course not, because I believe that you are guilty. I believe that I am guilty. I believe that everybody here is guilty. That's the core thing. That's the core thing.
We may be guilty for the crimes we commit. That is justice. That's what Islam teaches. You are guilty and punishable based on your own guilt.
Forgives.
Now,
because if he forgives, if someone is raping my daughter, and a judge
is that not the same God that allowed your daughter to be raped? So where's the
No,
justice in
I'm
that?
saying if someone raped my daughter,
Yeah.
if someone raped my daughter,
his belief is his God was
judge
You're
would
choosing
forgive
what?
it. There has to be some atonement. There has to be some punishment.
That's your same God that's allowing this child to get raped. So
What are you saying?
Who allowed this child of yours to be raped? Who allowed? Did
What
God
are you
allow it to happen? According to the question the sister asked. Did God allow that to happen?
What are you talking about?
Your child in your example got raped. Did your God allow it to happen?
My example was about forgiveness.
Sorry. Did your God allow it to happen?
Then you have to do another question.
Excuse me.
My question was to
Can you answer her
and
question?
She did not answer.
Did your God allow your child to be raped?
What do you mean? What do you mean by allow?
Did he allow it to happen?
What do you mean by allow?
Do you not know God allows and disallows?
What do you know? What do you mean?
Are you saying you can do an action without God allowing it?
He condemns it. Yes, he condemns
No.
He condemns it.
Excuse me.
He condemns
One
it.
second. If God doesn't allow, excuse
God
me.
is love and he hates
my
rape.
God evil.
Sorry, sister. Sorry. If God doesn't allow, are you
I would
listening?
really like to answer your question.
Excuse me, are you listening?
So-
If God did not allow, hello? Excuse me, Othman, listen. If God did not allow your girl to be raped, can anyone rape your girl?
Pardon?
If God does not allow the raping to take place, is there any force in this universe which can rape your daughter?
I'm saying that God hates rape.
I ask you a different question, which is this. If your God, your own God, the concept that you have, if He does not allow the raping of your girl to happen, is there anything in this universe that is more powerful than God to make the rape happen?
I didn't say that he didn't allow.
So does He allow?
If because of his sovereignty,
Excuse me, does He allow it?
because of his sovereignty.
So that means
But if
everything happens according to God's will. Back to square one. Why did you even ask me that question when you believe in the same thing? Now, next point about Trinity. Excuse me, my friend, Trinity. In the Trinity concept, which Christians, moment they hear about Trinity, they say it's time to go. But Hoffman is going to be here because he's here with the group and they're not going to leave until quite some time later. So Hoffman.
What are you suggesting that we're going to talk about the Trinity?
No, I'm saying you said Trinity, every bit of it is coherent.
I'm saying that.
Did you not say that? You said every bit of Trinity concept is coherent.
Of course, I told you that I can't believe
And I will show you how
cannot-
incoherent it is.
You don't interrupt me. I cannot believe in anything which is incoherent. If
Good.
it's incoherent,
Thank you.
It's per definition impossible. If I'm going
Would you allow me to show you?
Evidence,
Thank
it has
you.
to be coherent.
Hoffman,
I only
great.
I want it to be reliable, and I want to test it with truth.
That's very good, Osman.
I can't believe in anything.
Allow
And
me to
that's why
demonstrate
I
incoherence.
find the Muslim belief
Oh,
very
allow me,
very
Osman.
weak.
Allow me.
Very weak.
Now,
Is there
allow me
anything
to demonstrate.
incoherent with
Allow me to
one being
demonstrate it.
and three persons. No, it's nothing incoherent.
That's what you
It's
say.
One being and three persons. There's nothing.
That's what you said.
There's
Allow
nothing-
me to
no,
demonstrate to
there's
you.
Nothing. No. There's nothing.
He's gonna
incoherent.
force it on me.
There's nothing. Let me talk first. You've
Talk.
been talking too much. You've been talking too much. You're
Talk.
talking all the
Take your time. Talk.
I'm asking, is there anything incoherent?
Yes.
With one being and three persons?
Yes.
No, it's not.
I said no, so it's onus of me to explain, right? Thank you. Thank you. It's only fair that you listen to me now. Why it's incoherent? The problem with a absolute being who is one being with three persons is this. The Christians like yourself, correct me if I'm wrong in there as I'm explaining, you believe each of this person is absolute, not limited, dependent or finite. They are perfect, not imperfect. So far, do you agree?
You have to define the word identity.
I use the word absolute and perfection. Let me tell you what I mean by absolute and perfection. An absolute being is totally not in any way limited, dependent on anything. Absolute in the attributes and absolute in the perfection, right?
There was too many cameras.
The camera is good because people can learn from our exchanges. That's the whole idea. Now, listen, Hoffman, are you listening? Now, do you just tell me whether you agree or disagree? If you disagree, I will stop and I will ask you why. Each person within this one being, each person of the Father, person of the Son, and person of the Holy Spirit, they are absolute by themselves and perfect by themselves also.
If they're absolute by themselves, What do you mean by that? That they are everything?
No? That's what, so you don't know what absolute means. Let me explain again. If I say,
Like, it's not... It's
if you don't understand a term, I will explain to you what it means. No, if you don't understand a term, I will explain to
That's
you.
the reason why I have to be careful, because he's trying to trap me.
No, be
That's
careful.
why I have to
Take all your care.
every single word and every single
Very good, very good.
That's the reason.
Okay, let me now focus on the word perfection. Each person has to be perfect in every attribute they possess, because they did not begin to exist, neither did they acquire the attributes from anyone else. Do you follow so far?
Why is that perfect?
If I acquire an attribute of knowledge from you, my attribute of knowledge was imperfect to begin with. I needed more knowledge from you to make it even better.
No, you lack the ability to need.
Listen,
You lack the ability to be in the triune way. You have something, you have unity and you have diversity at the same time. With Muslim God, you would lack that.
Sorry, you're
so at the
confusing.
same time, you would
Perfection.
You would have
Do you have
freedom and form.
Do you disagree?
And you would have ruler at the same
Listen.
time. That's even greater.
Listen,
That's even
let me
greater.
tell you what perfection.
That's not something you can prefer.
Any of these
So-
persons within the being,
So I would
are
disagree
they
with you.
deficient in their attributes?
What are you saying?
Okay, hear me out carefully. The three persons within the Trinity, are they in any way, shape or form deficient in their attributes?
Oh, that was strange language. I didn't sleep too much tonight. Let
Let me try.
explain?
No, I will
Can someone
explain to you.
what
I will
it is?
explain. Not anyone else. I will explain. You know what deficiency means? The lack of something. You're lacking something. The three persons within this one being of yours.
That's what I'm accusing you of. They
Excuse
lack
me.
the ability to need.
Listen.
That's what I'm accusing Islam
Hello,
of God
Othman.
for.
Listen.
That's
The three,
very
Othman.
clear.
The three
I'm accusing him
persons.
to lack the ability to be a relation.
Othman.
I'm accusing him to lack the ability to be love in itself. That the triune God can be love. The singularity has no opportunity to be love. That's what I'm accusing him for. And then you try to accuse me of
Othman.
saying that he lacks.
Othman.
Is Allah, answer me this question.
No.
Is Allah perfect? Does
Yes.
he lack anything?
No, he doesn't lack anything.
Okay, he's not love. Because to be loved, you need to be a relation. I just proved that he lacks the ability to be love itself. The triune God is love.
Okay.
God is love.
Let me demonstrate
In
to
every
you.
single way.
Let me.
So what
Hang
you were
on.
trying
Let me
to accuse
respond to
me
you
of,
back.
I just
Excuse
said to
me.
you that Allah, the singularity, lacks
Sure.
the ability
Othman,
to in itself
Relax
be
now.
love
Hear the Muslim
and to be
response.
relation.
Hear the Muslim response. I want you to focus carefully, because this response is refuting your C.S. Lewis, maybe, your St. Augustine, maybe. In fact, all your major philosophers will be refuted at the same response. Not only you. So I want you to focus very carefully. Are you listening carefully? Listen carefully, because this response is a refutation not only of you, but all your philosophers at the same time. So hear me carefully. Attention.
It wasn't accused to you.
Now listen. I am not only refuting what you said about God is not perfect because he doesn't love, he's not loving, or he's not love. I am saying in my response, God willing, the response will refute not only your accusations about God being not perfect, but also refute all your philosophical scholars throughout centuries. So be careful to what I'm saying. Pay attention. That's my point. Pay attention. That's my introduction to paying attention. Now, to love someone, to love, for example, if I want to love my brother,
Yeah?
I have to have something as a prerequisite, which is the attribute of love. Imagine now, I want to love my brother, my brotherly love, right?
Yeah.
I want to share, let's have a meal, sit down, have a chat, we haven't talked so many years. If I did not possess the attribute of love, would I be able to love my brother?
If you didn't
Wait,
have
I'm
a
asking-
relation,
Wait.
would you be able to love?
I am not, excuse me, I'm not asking you.
So you're.
I am not asking you, I'm going to rhetorically ask and answer at the same
impossible
time.
to love without a relation.
Excuse
Love
me,
needs a
I
relation.
want you to pay attention and hear me. I am not asking you to answer back, I'm rhetorically asking at the same time answering. So hear me out. If I did not possess,
No, he's talking.
Excuse me.
Just let him.
So you said that
I know you are his teacher, carry on.
So I said that.
You are his teacher, right?
No.
Oh, you're not?
Not at all.
Is he your teacher?
No.
Okay, carry on.
No. So
Then I will answer.
okay. So you said something about your brother, presupposing.
What did I say?
You said that if you had a brother, then
No, he's my brother. How can I love my brother if I did not possess the
And then
attribute
you
of
talked
love?
about the attribute of love.
Yeah.
But then the presupposition below the attribute of love is then the relationship between you and your brother.
No,
Before
no,
God
no,
created
stop.
anything.
Stop. Let me respond now because you
needs-
Excuse me, both
The
misunderstood.
attribute of love does not exist.
Hoffman,
You do not have a relation. You need a relationship with the
relax,
attribute of
relax,
love.
relax. Let me
Yeah, you
respond.
can love yourself,
Excuse me.
but then you only have one component of love.
Oh,
If you love
subhanallah.
yourself,
Why is
then
it
that's
that
the
you are
only
not
thing
willing to hear the
You also need
response?
the ability to love someone else.
Listen.
And also to love a group.
Hoffman,
That's why you need minimum three
Hoffman,
components for
Hoffman.
that to be true.
relax. If God did not possess the attributes,
Relaxing a lot right now.
if God did not possess the attribute of creator, being a creator, can he create anything? If God did not possess the attribute of forgiveness, can he forgive anything? If God did not possess the attribute of mercy, can he show mercy to anyone? The answer.